Hello there, everybody. Today, I'm reviewing Scooby-Doo and the Legends of the Vampires. For the honor of Halloween, I decided to do a Scooby-Doo movie. I have wanted to in the past couple years, but I just never got around to it. I've reviewed The Zombie Island, The Witch's Ghost. I was going to review The Alien Invaders, but the movie wasn't on any streaming services at the time, and I had no way of finding it. But I decided to review Legends of the Vampires. I think it came out 2003, so this movie's a bit older. But this is I think it takes place in the What's New Scooby-Doo, that version of the Scooby-Doo world. I don't know, it's possible there's a Scooby-Doo multiverse, but that's a different story. But this is where the gang goes to Australia to uncover a mysterious vampire that is taking away bands from a concert that is trying to take place. So this is definitely a fun movie. But this time the cast is more different. This is actually like a Scooby-Doo reunion. This is where the original cast from the 60s cartoon have come together for this movie. We don't have Daphne as Grey DeLeast or Mindy Kaling as Velma or the Matthew Litter. This is before Matthew Litter played Shaggy, but this Shaggy's played by Casey Kasem, the original Shaggy voice and the voice of Robin. And we got Frank Walker as Fred, but I think the Scooby-Doo actor did not return for this. But anyway, this is a reunion, and we mainly see the gang on vacation. I thought those scenes were very cool. It opens with the It even opens like a Scooby-Doo intro. We see the bats come out of the ship, and we see the gang walk in, like in the intro, and we even see them take down the ghouls on the ship. So they've already solved another mystery. But while they're hanging out, they do learn about what's been going on in Australia. And they are on a cruise in this movie, but once they get the mystery machine, who has somehow made it onto the ship, they even lower it on this deck thing, and they take the mystery machine to Australia, and that's where we meet. I think his name is Daniel. He's played by the Phil Lamar. And apparently he has a grandfather who's like this wise old man who guides them through this whole journey of the vampires. And we get a bunch of cool scenes, but the major highlight of this movie is the return of the Hex Girls. Honestly, I probably just made this video as an excuse to talk about the Hex Girls. The Hex Girls are definitely a big highlight of this movie. This is what they look like in the What's New Scooby-Doo. And they even got the original voice actors from The Witch's Ghost to voice the Hex Girls in this. But unfortunately for the Hex Girls in this movie, while they are performing, they also get captured by the vampire, who's this giant, I think he's called the Yali Yahoo. It's a weird name. But he's voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson. And apparently he has goons, this vampire. He appears in this giant fog, and he literally lifts the performers, and they disappear from thin air. But the way these guys look, they're on this poster thing, and that's how the gang's able to look for clues once they start finding out what's going on. It has more of a 70s feel or 60s feel to it from the concert, like the Woodstock concerts, if you know what that is. We get these I think they look more like Kiss, if you know that band. And we even get this cool scene where Shaggy, Scooby run away from these monsters, and we get the typical Scooby-Doo fashion where they run through various doors, they hide, they do a various funny moment where they actually put all three of them in this tanning booth, and I thought that scene was funny. But we do find out who it is, and we do find what's actually been going on. We first think it's this other band that was performing, who was kind of jealous because they wanted to win this concert tournament, but it turns out it wasn't them because they get captured by the Yahoo. But the gang do more mystery solving. They go in. They first think it. They also think it's the guy who's hosting the event, because they find a picture of him and they find the costumes. but it turns out it's actually the way to frame the man. But it turns out it isn't him, and it's actually this other band called the Skinny Dudes, and they actually get trapped by Fred, of course, once they actually go to like this island, and Daphne, I think, falls into the island. Like, she finds out what's been going on. She finds like the equipment they're using, and it turns out these the Skinny Dudes, they're actually using like a giant fan and to project the vampire dude, and it's actually just a giant projector. And the way they're capturing the band, in other words, it's all like special effects, and they're actually using mountain climbing gear and that's how they were able to capture the Hex Girls. And once you're watching this movie, you're kind of getting the Scooby-Doo formula, since people are so used to it. Maybe, I don't know, if you're not a big Scooby-Doo fan, you're probably not gonna like this movie, but it turns out the Hex Girls were actually like taken away and they were offered a deal by those Skinny Dudes, but they rejected, and the wise old man actually helps find them and brings them back. But yeah, their goal was to get rid of all the singers just so they can win the concert for themselves, and so yeah, they capture them. And we also get this cool scene at the end where the gang actually perform. And we get Velma to sing Scooby Dooby Doo, and they're actually dressed like rock stars, and it's cool. It's just cool seeing the gang come together in Australia. So yeah, sorry that's not the best description of Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampires, but it's got a stellar voice cast, and it's cool seeing the original Scooby-Doo cast come together. And it's cool seeing the Hex Girls. So maybe next year we'll review the other two Scooby-Doo movies that took place after The Witch's Ghost, since those are definitely the epic Scooby-Doo movies. And maybe we'll review the live-action ones in the future. But I probably give this movie probably a 7 out of 10. This movie's like also very nostalgic for me, because I watched this on VHS at the library. That was a very long time ago. But that's my fondest memory of this movie. And yeah, it's a pretty short movie, but it feels like just a long episode of Scooby-Doo. But yeah, so I don't think I got anything else to say. Maybe the next review we'll review Friday the 13th. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.